Well, so-and-so had sex with so-and-so. Well, they cheated on him. No, technically they were on a break.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What are you allowed to do on a break and what are you not? I got to tell you that when he starts speaking in French, it sounds arrogant to me. I know that's not right. I know that's wrong. But a French accent, he's like, well, we can do the water ski if you please. And I'm like, yeah, goddamn, please quit being so arrogant, you prick. The technician that did this reaches over to the owner, takes the hat off his head, and hangs it on the bolts and goes, use it as a hat rack.
Oh my God.
And he walked out. Welcome to the GenX Talks podcast, broadcasting from the KGXT studios, 200 feet below occupied California.
We're 200 feet below?
We're 200 feet below. Yeah, elevators and everything to get. We're in a secure bunker. That way the black helicopters can't get to us. Duh.
Thank God. That's good.
Yeah, we'll get to the black helicopters in a little bit.
This is pretty crazy in here.
Well, okay. For those of you that are going to be watching this as when the video version comes out, and this is for your dancing and listening pleasure, I'm just going to have to describe it to you. So, Grant and I have become good friends. He's the owner.
You're more than friends.
We're just friends.
You're more than friends.
We're friends.
You talk to him more than you talk to me now.
I'm
a little jealous.
To be fair, he's more interesting. So, yeah. Anyway.
What? What did you just say?
So Grant is, he owns TorqueStrap, which is just, it's an incredibly badass product, who doesn't sponsor the program.
What is a TorqueStrap?
It's like like a motorcycle strap when you have the pull motorcycle straps, or a click motorcycle strap for strapping down gear and equipment and motorcycles and ATVs and stuff in your trailer. He invented a better one. I mean, it's
what makes it better?
It self-adjusts. You don't have to go down the road and check your load. Is my load shifted? Has my tent? No.
Is that important?
Well, it makes it where you don't. It's like foolproof. Once you set it, you got everything set. The strap adjusts itself as you drive, so you don't lose your load.
Oh,
it's great. It works out really good. It's such a good product, and he does so well at it that he has spare time to annoy the shit out of me. And he does it in a kind and loving way, which I really enjoy. You know, and I told him, I said, and this is the part.
So he's not the nagging wife yet, or
no,
nagging
but he's,
girlfriend
you know what?
Yet.
He has a lot of female traits. I'll tell you that. Like, one is he has selective hearing, just like a woman. I said, look, Grant, if you want to sponsor the program, you can, and then you can boss me around and tell me what to do. He just skipped right over to bossing me around and telling me what to do. He moved right into, and I'll give you an example. This is a true story, absolute true story. He comes up, he says, look, I want to film one of your podcasts. I want to record it with my audio gear, with my lighting and stuff. Okay. And I'm like, well, I could help. I got some microphones and I got some cords, and, we have studio lighting. We actually have a studio. He films his shit in his garage. He comes up here, and over the course of an hour, he got here really early in the morning, and he brought his little Lebowski friend, Dan, the man who looks like a little Jeffrey Lebowski, comes in here. And I'm like, well, here's what we got. He goes, yeah, those, we're just going to go ahead and turn off all your lights. Okay. And we'll just use mine. All right. Well, what about these studio lights? No, those got to go too. So we turn them all off. So, we have our audio gear here. We got a pretty good pod track. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use mine. I'm like, all right, I guess we could use yours. And literally, the only thing we're using is our microphones. And even then, he goes, they're a step down from the good ones. There's, he even knew the model number. He's like, the Shure MT1700 is the model above yours, but I'm sure yours will be fine. I don't know how you're
handling this relationship. He sounds more of an alpha than you. He's pushing you around.
Oh, he's just a dick. But he's younger than me. He's a kid. He's like, all right, I tolerate him because, like, there, little buddy, you'll be fine. He runs around like a puppy with two Peters when he's doing stuff. But here's the truth.
What a visual. Okay.
Here's the truth.
All right. What's the truth?
Even though this is not his forte, it's not his area, this is a hobby for him. He's fucking brilliant. I mean, when you ask him questions about stuff, he not only knows the answer, but he can tell you how he got to that answer. Not just, I saw a YouTube video on it. No. The cat really fucking goes all in on something and tries to use the best and understand how every aspect of it works. He came up yesterday. He took me to school for probably 5 or 6 hours on software that I was trying to learn. And he didn't really go into how many, hundreds of mistakes he made learning it himself, but whatever it was, he got there and he could explain it to me. And now I'm beginning that journey, and it's brilliant stuff. but he's absolutely flawless when it comes to this. Why he was in here for 2 hours setting up this morning, he's trying to be perfect. He's trying to get it as best as it can. He never uses the phrase, that'll be good enough, ever.
I appreciate that.
Not one time.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we do have Grant in studio. We have Dan the Man in studio.
I like the lighting. I've got a little red behind me.
Okay.
I like it.
That's just dumb.
Okay? I like it.
Okay?
Look at this.
It
For
looks
anybody
like
that's watching.
You look like you're in a sex dungeon. That's what it looks like.
I'm trying to decide if I'd like that or not.
No, you're supposed to say, Grant, this is horrible. What kind of...
I've never been in a sex dungeon before.
There's
always a first time.
Not that you tell anybody anyway. So yeah, when you guys see the video version, it's going to be his editing, his stuff. I'm going to claim it as mine. I'm going to pretend I did it.
Why?
You know?
Would you do that? Well, you just admitted to everybody he's doing it anyway.
Just on the radio. But I'm gonna when he gives me all this stuff, I'm gonna go, well, this is what I learned from his expert tutelage, and then I'm gonna say I did this. How's this for a first attempt?
So I want to start off on my thing that you were very rude to me this morning.
Like more than usual, or
more than usual.
What? Well, I know you're lying, about to lie. What did I do now?
You said for me to come out as you guys were getting ready, and I wasn't fit. You told me 9:30.
Okay, right, but we needed something from when you and Trippy organized the studio. I didn't know where it was. We needed a cable, and I'm like, could you come out and help us? And you texted back and said, yeah, I got to go brush my teeth and finish getting ready. Okay, why weren't you sitting there ready to go? What good
you
does
said 9:30. It wasn't 9:30.
I know we needed something.
You told me I had till 9:30.
So you want all of us to just sit around while you go brush your teeth and get your... Oh, come on.
Yes.
When I say, look, we need you for something, you walk right out and say, what did you need? And then we say, and then you give us, and we go.
You don't own me.
No, I'm not trying to own you. This isn't slavery. I'm trying... My God.
Are you done?
No, I
told you were rude to me this morning. And you know what? It wasn't just that.
It wasn't.
It was this morning I heard you getting dressed to come out here early this morning. So rude. Wouldn't let me sleep.
Oh, my Christ almighty. You did not just say that.
I believe I did.
Okay. I don't know why you brought that up. Seriously. But that is absolutely the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard.
Hypocritical?
You fucking slam every drawer.
Did I do it this morning?
I was up first.
Exactly. I'm just complaining about this morning.
You even do it at night. If I fall asleep by 11:30 and you're downstairs doing something, when you come up there, all the lights come on, you slam all the drawers and the cabinets in the bathroom, you start dragging stuff around the bedroom like you're cleaning up, you move, and I'm like, oh my God, even the dogs get up and they're like, all right, I guess we're getting up, can't sleep through this shit. And then you walk. That's what you do.
How did this get turned around when I said you were rude this morning, and now you're bringing up all the past stuff?
Because you bring up a habit that you've been doing for 30 years and pretend that this morning I did it one time and I'm the bad guy. Well, then what does that make you? The general of the evil marriage army? Because you're way further down the road than one little bad guy.
I'm the queen. I get what I want.
I don't have enough medication for you today. I really
you want
don't.
Some whiskey?
I'm going to have to.
We can start out with that.
I'm seriously going to have to start drinking at this time in the morning. I couldn't believe you even said that.
I was still tired from last night when we went on our rescue mission.
Yeah, that was kind of fun though.
It was. It was way past our bedtime to be out at that hour.
Now you got to tell him we went out at like 2 a.m. or something. You can't tell him we went out at 8:30 at night.
It wasn't 8:30. It was like 10.
Oh, 10.
I was in my jammies. I was ready for bed.
Well, yeah, for the listening audience, for those of you that don't know, Briggs, of course, everybody knows he moved out. So the other day he calls me. He goes like, "Hey, you need a little help here, Dad." I'm like, "What do you need?" He goes, "Well," because he was all the way down from where we live, down in Pasadena, and he was doing a road trip.
Like it's so far, 100 miles.
It's further than you could walk.
Well, that's true.
You can't hold your breath that far traveling in a car.
That's true.
All right, then it's further down. It's way down the road.
Okay, go.
My God, if this is the way this is going to go.
I was trying to give people some perspective. You know, you just say
I said way down the road. That's pretty good perspective.
Okay, it could be a mile from now.
Could be a country mile.
Could be a mile. Okay.
Can I get back to the fucking story?
Yeah,
all right.
Proceed.
So he calls me up. He's far away. He's down the road. He's 100 miles away. And he says, he's got you said he came by for a white dress shirt that morning.
Well, you were talking about him being miles away calling you first.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he came in, flew in the morning and said he needed a white shirt for
Why are you
today.
agreeing with me after you just said
I don't know.
You were going to tell a different story. This is the same story. Oh, okay.
Go.
Okay, can you just sit there for 5 fucking seconds? I'm literally running out of breath right now trying to keep up with you. It's like I get two steps forward down a story, and I got to take one step back to bring you along. Just
I'm being quiet.
Sit in the little red wagon.
I'm being quiet.
All right. So he calls me. He's like, hey, remember, he's little Mr. Independent. I've been independent. I'm out on my own. I'm doing my stuff. Money's coming in. I'm getting my paychecks. Everything's good. Everything's fine, Dad. I'm my own man. That's kind of the speech I get every time he stops by. And then he calls me, and he's down in Pasadena. He's like, and you could tell he's in a car full of, like a van full of other people. And they're all rank under him in whatever he's doing with his Cutco Knives, pyramidscheme.com, as Grant puts it. He says, he goes, he goes, can I get $20? And I said, for what? He goes, I don't have any lunch money for today, and I don't want to ask anybody else. And I said, yeah. And then I thought, there's no way he can eat on $20 and not our son. So we shot him $40, and he did that. I thought, oh, okay. He
called you in front of everybody
and whispered. He was like, oh. He got real quiet. Like, you could tell he was in a van full of people. He's like, hey, Dad, can you just send me some money here? Because I need to. He called. He didn't text. He called. Anyway, I was all right with that. So then the very next day.
And who gave him the money?
I did.
Who?
Okay, you pushed the button, but okay, who's in? If the general commands the tanks to move forward and blow up the city, and they blow up the city, do you say, hey, look at the tank guys, look what they did? No, you say, look at what the general did. So when I say I gave him the money, I did give him the money.
All right, pat yourself on the back. Good job. Move on.
Okay, I'm sorry. And the Queen pressed the button.
Thank you.
All right. So then yesterday, again, he calls at night. He goes, hey, I need some help. Now, this is at night. I'm like, all right, it's way past dinner time. You're not calling for $20. I said, okay, can you be more specific? He goes, can you come help me? Okay, so am I bringing a weapon or or bail money? And he's like, no, I think I ran out of gas. I'm like, all right. So I grabbed you. We got in the truck, grabbed a gas can, and we go to figure out where he's at. This kid ran out of gas and didn't push his truck. He stopped right at the intersection, a busy turn lane sticking out, and just put on his hazards and sat there. I'm like, couldn't get, people will help you push. Get it around the corner.
Will they, though?
Get it to a driveway.
Will they, though?
And there nowadays, he is. We find him, and it's nighttime, and he's just waving out the window. Hey, Dad, how's it going? And now I can't leave him there.
I know.
I thought he was going to be in a parking lot or off on a side street. I was going to say, okay, come with me. Put gas in the gas can, because I wanted to see if he had gas money. I wanted to see if he had any gas money from the 40 I gave him the night before. Now I can't. I just got to go get the gas. So we go get the gas, go back.
You think he still had the change from the $40 you gave him 2 days ago?
I'm kind of thinking he didn't, or he would have put a couple dollars in the gas tank already.
I highly doubt that.
But he was like 200 feet from his apartment. That's how close he got.
Yeah, it's almost there.
So we did go and rescue him. But that's two times we've had to.
Tell him about the person that stopped behind him. He had his hazards on, and this person.
Yeah. So Briggs is sitting there with his hazards on. It's totally dark outside, and we go get gas, and we come up behind him, and he's in the right turn lane. Someone pulls up behind him in the right turn lane
and sits
with
there
their turn signal on,
and sits there.
And I'm like, okay, surely they can see the truck in front of them has the hazards on. Go around. Nope. Another car goes behind them. Then we pull up, and I'm the third car, and I'm like, I'm sitting there waiting for these two idiots to realize the truck is stuck in the lane with the hazards on. Go around him. Nobody moves. So I told you, roll down your fucking window.
Yeah.
And I pulled out into traffic. I pull up next to the dude, and he's on his phone.
I'm banging on the car.
You're banging on like, hey, fucker, roll down your window. So he finally rolls down his window, and he's just a fucking kid. I mean, anybody younger than me is a kid. Anybody older than me is an old man. So he's probably 28 or 29. I go, hey, dumbass, the truck in front of you has its hazards on. He goes, okay, I see now. Then I backed up to yell at the next car, but he caught on. He's like, oh, okay, never mind. Then we pulled up and helped him get his gas.
And you think people are going to stop and push his truck?
Yeah, they didn't
they
even
didn't know what hazards mean.
No, they didn't even know how to go around him.
Those days are gone.
One of Briggs' friends calls. He goes, you know what hazard lights are? He calls them park anywhere lights. You park anywhere you want, turn on your hazards, nobody will fuck with you.
That's what they thought.
Well, it's true because you could have broke down there. So even if you pull up to the LA Coliseum or something, just pull right up front, put your hazards on. They'll at least leave you there for a little bit, thinking you're trying to fix something. So we had to rescue him twice. It's typical kid stuff. I mean, every parent out there has had to rescue their kid.
What did I tell you last night? I said he's writing his story.
Oh,
that's what it is. He's writing his story.
Every kid. It's not like I'm bashing the kid for running out of gas, or that happens.
We've all done it.
Yeah, I think up until about 5 years ago, I'll bet you I've pushed every vehicle I've ever owned up until about 5 years ago. I've always run out of gas.
You are the king of running out of gas.
King of running out of gas, yeah.
You have called me on multiple occasions to come rescue you.
And you thought
That's
we were
ridiculous.
younger, that I was just I was faking it so I could just get us stranded in a car. No, I'm really that dumb.
He's really that dumb. When it gets down to a quarter of take, he's like, how much longer can I go? Let's roll that.
Well, here's how the old trick
it makes me stressed.
Here's how the old trick used to be with me. When your gas light comes on, your low fuel light, I would hit the trip odometer.
I know you did.
And see how many miles I can go on the trip odometer. And if you can go 30 miles and you run out of gas, okay, fine. But then every time after that, as soon as your gas light comes on, you can hit the trip odometer, you got 30 miles.
That just brings up a story. I'm going to double down on that one. When I was driving in high school, probably just my first year of college, I had my VW Bug. My gas gauge went out and my dad wasn't going to fix it. So he knew from the time you fill up the car, he made me take the number and then subtract it. And I had to do math to find out.
You had that little diary in your glove box of your...
My dad did that. Yeah. I didn't, but I had to know how close I was to the end of the tank. I had to do math to figure out when I should fill my car. That was not fun, but...
My grandpa got mad at the Dodge dealership one time. He took me down there. I was a kid, and he wanted his gas gauge fixed on some Dodge, and they told him it was going to be hundreds of dollars back then, and he was mad. He goes, I remember my grandpa, he never got mad at anybody, but he yelled at the guy. He goes, I'll take a wooden stick, and I'll carve notches in it with my knife and stick it in my gas tank to see how low it is before I pay that much money to have it fixed.
Did he do it?
Oh, Grandma made him fix it.
No, Grandma did.
Grandma was like, I'm not sticking a stick in the gas tank to see how much gas there is. Go get it fixed now. And he did.
That's funny.
But I do remember that.
The other night, my dog wouldn't listen to you. Remember?
Your dog's an asshole.
I love my dog.
Your dog is a complete dick. He lays in bed with you, and then when I go to get into bed, he looks at me like, really? Can't you just sleep on the floor?
Pretty much.
I'm comfortable here. He really won't move.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to push him out of the way. And then the other day, I was trying to pet him, the one you're talking about. And I'm like, hey, come here and I'll pet you. And he goes and gets a drink of water. And then he looks at me and he's like, that's his favorite thing to be scratched behind his ears and shit. Like he'll run across.
He's like, you'll be there.
He'll run across burning coals to have someone pet him until I go to pet him. And then he's like, hold on, I'm thirsty. Let me look around the room. Let me stretch a little bit. Yeah. And then, then he comes up with okay, now you can pet me. I swear he acts like a cat more than a
hilarious.
dog. Nah, he's not hilarious.
So funny.
He's a dill hole. Hey,
wait.
No, you wait.
What do you mean?
We didn't say marcyzavala.com, but I don't know if we're supposed to anymore.
Yeah, it goes to her website. She's revamped it.
No, I know, but she was like joining a medical
Wise and Well or
community.
Well and Wise.
Okay, so do we steer people towards that or do we steer people towards...
I'm not exactly sure, but you can go to her website still, marcydevala.com, and it goes there.
Real quick, for those of you, just to recap, marcyzavala.com is not a sponsor of the program. She doesn't give us any money for this. She's a friend of ours. She's married to Dr. McDreamy.
My Dr. McDreamy.
Your Dr. McDreamy. And my wife suffered cancer, survived cancer. It was a mess. 10 years after cancer, the entire 10 years, my wife was in excruciating pain, joint pain, muscle pain, bone pain. And believe me, we tried everything. We flew to Mexico every snake oil thing we can get from a covered wagon coming across the Himalayas, we tried it.
Yes.
Literally nothing worked. Every doctor, they just said, well, you're just going to have pain medications.
And live with this for the rest of your life.
Until Marcy got a hold of you, and she's been practicing and improving these nutrition things.
We just had a conversation.
And it worked.
It started with a conversation, and she said, I want to try something. And we went forward with
the big expense is the testing, which isn't on her.
No.
It's a huge expense test up front, but it's the most thorough thing I've ever seen.
Any doctor that would do this test would charge you the same amount of money.
Oh, yeah. This has nothing to do with her. This is how science works. This is how medicine works. But once she had all the information, I saw a change in you within 4 months. 6 months, all the pain was gone.
Yeah, it's not a change overnight. You have to stick with the plan, but once you do, you will definitely within a week or two start seeing some changes.
Any of you that are out there that are suffering joint pain and muscle pain for whatever reason, you are literally one click away from feeling better. And if you don't do it, that's on you. Don't even bitch about it anymore. Don't walk around complaining to people because you have a chance to fix it. It's on you. All right. So I don't know if we're supposed to say marcyzavala.com. I know I get $5 every time she says that. Nah, that's not true. I don't get any money. But So
I have something else. Okay,
what?
Not only were you rude this morning, this last week you started drawing on the shower door again.
Okay, this was important though.
What? There's no.
Okay, listen.
It looked perverted. It looked sexual or something.
Not. Would you let me explain this, please?
No, stop doing that.
No, listen. This could be the thing that puts me on the map.
Oh,
I could be
more than GenX Talks.
More than I could become somebody. I could become somebody.
Let me hear this.
Okay, so now you're going to have to follow me on this.
I'm following.
There was two things I was trying to figure.
Spelling what you're stepping in.
Yeah, I haven't said anything yet. Shut up. Go
ahead.
God, I'm going to make... You know what? I'm not pulling you in the little red wagon anymore. There's going to be a rope 50 feet. You're going to get pulled 50 feet behind me where I can't hear you.
I can't wait.
All right. So there was two things that I've been thinking about my whole life when it comes to improving cars. One of the things that makes noise on a car when it goes down the road that you can get to freeway speeds and beyond is your outside mirrors. They're sticking out. They're going to make noise. They're breaking through the wind. They're cutting through the wind. They're going to make noise.
Okay.
So I tried for like 40 years to figure out a way to make mirrors not make noise. And you can angle them and you can recess them in. And nowadays, I don't got to do that anymore. I finally gave up because you can just put a camera. You could put a screen on the inside of your car and put a camera looking backwards, and the camera won't make any noise because it's built into the side of your car, and you can just look on your window. There could be a little movie screen the exact same size as your outside mirror, only you're looking at it on the inside of your car.
Whoa.
So
okay,
that can happen with anybody. That's no genius. I had to give up because there's technology that overcomes that. Now, so let's move on to what I started putting all my energy into.
Oh, you mean riding on the shower door?
Okay, could you stop
with
telling
soap?
Quit telling people I do.
Was you never cleaned up? But continue with your story.
I needed to take pictures of it.
But continue with your story.
This is scientific research. Okay.
It's a hypothesis, yeah. But go ahead.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
This rope is not long enough. Okay.
I'm waiting.
Noise comes out of the tailpipe. So you can hear a car going down the road. Now, some people like to make them louder, but most times car manufacturers are trying to make them quieter. And you get all sorts of mufflers and variations trying to quiet that. You want your car to be quiet. They're trying to get as quiet as possible. So the other day, I had an idea, and so I had to go look it up like on YouTube and stuff, just generically like TED Talks and college material stuff. What type of a sound measured in decibels, what frequency do tailpipes, and they're all different because different size engines, different cars, but there is a measurable type of frequency that the noise comes out of a tailpipe. And I remembered a guy a long time ago talking about sound waves, canceling out sound waves. The guy said, he goes, hey, if you hear two cars going down the road, do you just hear the loudest car because it's the loudest car? Or is that other car making noise, but it can't get through the big car sound? Does it cancel it out? And how he described it to get us all, we were a bunch of kids. He said, if you throw a pebble in a pond and it starts to ripple out, but you throw a big rock, the big rock cancels out those little waves. Those little waves do not continue towards the big waves. The big wave takes precedence. It overpowers. Gotcha. All right. So now with that loose terminology, could I make a sound that points into the muffler that cancels out the sound coming out of the muffler? So I was doing some homework on YouTube and stuff about, because UCLA's done some stuff on frequencies of the noise coming out and trying to cancel different. So I was trying to figure out a way to design some apparatus that would bolt onto the outside of the very last thing, the tailpipe. And any noise coming out, it would sense it, and it would give the exact frequency of that sound to cancel it, to dead it, to make it zero.
Interesting.
Now,
so no sound at all coming out of the muffler.
No. Now, the only problem is, as you might imagine, no matter how big my brain is, there's only so far I can go with this in the shower, writing with soap on the glass. Which is why you're probably looking at things that look sexual, because I'm drawing tailpipes and I'm drawing things inserted into the tailpipes.
Yeah.
That was what it had nothing to do with where your dirty mind went.
But then you leave it up there. That's the thing.
I needed to take pictures.
Well, it's not there anymore.
I know that. Now I got to start over. I'm just saying, that stuff came to me while I was in the shower. And I'm like, what do? Just hope you remember it when you're done? No, you got to start going right now. You grab the soap.
So I'm supposed to leave that up on the shower door?
Until I tell you I've taken a picture.
That could be months.
Oh, come on. It wouldn't be months. It might. I'm a little slow on the draw there. It might be a day or two, but I'd get to it.
Unbelievable.
Anyway,
this is my bitch day, because I have something else.
How could you? Okay, I find it hard to believe.
You have flaws.
No, I'm damn near perfect. I have it.
Excuse me?
I find it hard to believe you can find fault with me. Go ahead.
I'm tired of arguing about sleeping with the TV on. Every night.
This old argument again. Here we go.
Why do we need the TV on at all?
Listen, because I said so.
No, that's...
It's my therapy. It helps me. Now listen.
Helps you what?
Okay, it helps me fall asleep. I don't think you understand the amount of time that I've put into this. You think that I just leave stuff on randomly, and I don't.
Yes, I think you do.
No, I don't. First of all, it's if I fall asleep, while the TV's on a certain thing, it's an accident if it wakes you up, because I know not to do a war movie with shooting.
Oh my gosh, that used to drive me up a wall.
I can't just leave on John Wick or something, because there's shooting and screaming. I get it. I don't do that. If I do that, it's an accident. Now, what can you have on there? Okay, let me ask you this. What do I always fall asleep to? And then I'll tell you why I chose it.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Now, even though I like the show, there's other shows we could put on. But my research...
Oh, here we go.
No, this is a true story.
Were you watching another YouTube channel?
No, this is me. This is pure 100% my research. I didn't type anybody else's dubage here. That show doesn't have a lot of highs and lows. There's like 4 episodes where they scream running down the stairs. That wakes you up. But if I avoid those episodes, all of them are even. Their intro music, their exit music is about as even as you can get without raising and waking. I've done homework.
Do you know that they have channels for like rain or the ocean that you can listen to, or a river flowing?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of that? You know, like you're camping outside and you could put that on, or like have a nice little rain happening.
That would be cool.
Why don't you use that?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, in your research, you never came across that.
Do you want to know what else I've done for you just because I love you? Do you know when I went through those years, I was on a Star Trek Next Generation kick?
Oh, Lord.
I know how many clicks of the remote, skip, to get through the intro of Star Trek Next Generation, because it's so fucking loud it wakes you up.
Oh, my God.
Now when you watch something, you just hit the skip intro button. But back then, it was 12 clicks. Once it started, I had to click 12 times for you. So the intro music wouldn't wake you up.
Can we try like some rain or ocean waves or something?
You're just going to skip right over all of the homework I've done to better your life.
You didn't do complete research, because I just gave you something that you didn't come across.
But what about how many people know how many clicks it takes to get through the Star Trek
cares?
intro? Because I did that for you. Do you think
that was years ago?
So it's in the past. It doesn't count. Good, I'll remember that, because the next time you bring up some shit I did 30 years ago, I'm going to go, oh, that's a long time ago. That's years ago. It doesn't count.
Okay.
And you are the queen of that shit. So I just was pointing out to the audience. I'll submit this to the jury of our listening audience. I know I've researched which television shows will not wake her up.
Nobody cares.
I have researched how many clicks it takes to get through certain TV shows so the intros don't wake her up. I've done a good job with that, and I'm getting no acknowledgement for my husbandly efforts there. I think I go above and beyond, and I'm getting the shit kicked out of me for it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Anything else you want to beat me up about? Are we in the clear yet?
I don't know. I'll think of something. Just give me some time. Do you remember that fire the other day?
Yeah.
Man, that scared the crap out of me. When
I
I walked out of the studio, that thing was burning. Did you post any pictures?
I did. Yeah. Thanks to me, we had pictures to post.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we all acknowledge you took the pictures, but it was very close. There was something burning like a street away from us, like over our backyard wall. And there's other empty lots and stuff. So there's a pretty good chance we could see pretty clear what it was. You walk halfway across the yard. You stand on one of those metal chairs, which you should not be standing on.
Why? Why can't I stand on it? It's sturdy. It's metal. It wasn't like a folding chair.
No, it's unstable and it was risky and it was dumb. And you're still taking pictures through the trees.
Yes, it was.
And I'm like, well, get down. I yelled at you. In fact, I took a picture of you standing on it in case you denied it. I actually have a picture of you standing. I know, but in case you did.
Okay.
So I yell at you. I'm like, hey, go get down off it. Go to the garden and look over the wall. And you're, this is fine. This is fine.
I didn't want to.
So all the pictures you took have like little flickers of flame through some trees. You can't even tell what's going on.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to go all the way to the garden and take pictures.
Then why were you trying to take pictures at all? You obviously wanted to know what was going on.
You were the one that said take the pictures.
No.
Whose phone did I use?
You grabbed my phone.
No. I didn't grab it.
You grabbed my phone.
You gave it to me.
When you asked for it.
I did not.
So you finally go to the garden like you were told.
Yep.
You go to the back of the garden like you were instructed. You begin taking video from where I told you. And guess what? It was clear. You could see what was going on. And you were rambling on a mile a minute on what you saw and what you thought. Yeah, you're welcome. Just do what I fucking tell you. And your life will go so much easier.
Every idea I have, you say no.
That is not true.
Yep. And then I have to let you think about it and come up with it. Once it's your idea, that's a good idea. I do that with a lot of things. I've done that our whole marriage. You have to come up with something that it comes up their idea whenever you say no. I just have to wait a little bit.
That is not true.
It's a little true.
I'm not.
Go back. Think
I'm
of all
not
the
that
things.
easily manipulated.
Go back and say all the things that you've said no to me, and then eventually, what happens?
Well, maybe I'm saying no because your way of doing it was wrong.
Oh, okay. You don't think I've totally manipulated you to make it your idea?
I manipulate you and you don't even know it.
No, you don't.
I do. When I want you to get out of bed in the morning because you're laying there too long, I turn the temperature in the room up with the thermostat 2 degrees. First thing you do is you kick off all the blankets and then you're like, just get up. And then you get up and get going.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Anytime that I want you to get up and get moving, I just change the temperature of the room 2 degrees and your ass is downstairs in 15 minutes. Every time. Like clockwork. You manipulate me. Yeah,
I do manipulate
Who's the master?
Not you.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Not you.
Proven fact.
Wrong.
So, we were talking about the garage show earlier. Okay,
why don't you tell people what it is first? Because there's some people that just watch YouTube, listen to the podcast.
Every Friday we do a garage show, and it's nothing technical. We don't rebuild Cummins engines and shit. We just we turn on a microphone and a couple cameras, and we just talk about. I answer questions, basic automotive questions, and I bring out some old tools and stuff. We do it. We started out just doing it on Facebook Blue. And now we broadcast it everywhere because everybody wants to listen.
And you answer people's questions.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty low pressure. It's
And why do you do that? How many years of mechanic experience do you have?
Yeah, 40 some years, long time. And so we talk about the basics on stuff. Sometimes we'll draw stuff out on a whiteboard, which I didn't think was going to work at all. But the 2 times we were drawing stuff out, everybody was like, "Oh, I get what you're saying." So we just have a good time with it. But that's what the garage show is. However, now that the kid's been trying to get sponsors with Jacob, one of them was Bad Dog Tools, and we did that drill test. A lot of you guys listening, you guys saw the drill test. I took a Snap-on drill bit, a DeWalt drill bit, and a Bad Dog drill bit, and we did 5 different tests over 2 shows, and the Bad Dog just whooped ass every time, except for one. It was a little slower, still cut through it fast. You're talking about, the Snap-on bit took 8 seconds, and the Bad Dog took 10 seconds. Well, who cares? But technically it didn't fare as well on that one test. Well, now everybody wants me to do the other Bad Dog tools. They want me to do the cutoff wheels, start cutting through things and see what they do. Can it cut through concrete? Can it cut through metal? I don't want the controversy. I don't want someone coming back and saying, "Oh, you're promoting Bad Dog tools and you should only show it when they win." I got so many people that were mad at me. It wasn't the sponsor. They seemed okay with it. They were fine. But other people like, this is not how you advertise. This is not what you do. You know, you're supposed to pre-record these things and edit it out. I'm like, I wasn't trying to do that. I was doing a legitimate live test. And if it lost, it fucking lost. What, you know,
why are you starting to listen to other people?
I wasn't listening to other people. It just made me not want to do the test at all. Because I didn't want the controversy. There was a lot of people thought it was great. A lot of people, we got emails saying, hey, thanks for being honest. Thanks for doing it fair. Thanks for doing it live. And then there's people, you shouldn't have done it that way. You don't know what you're fucking doing. You're never going to make any money because you're a fucking idiot. It's like, Jesus Christ. And I won't do it at all. Fuck everybody.
Oh,
that's how I felt. But we do have a couple more things. There's 2 other types of tools that we could do with Bad Dog and go down that road.
Maybe another time. Maybe not in succession.
No, we didn't. We did one from you know why we did the last garage show from in here in studio?
Because the garage was so damn hot.
The last show we did out there, I barely made it through the show.
Yeah, it was too hot.
So dying from running around doing the test. And then you don't do very well out there in that heat at all. And if we do an hour or so of setup and then an hour show where I'm just chugging and running and huffing and puffing and talking, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I can't drink water fast enough and hydrate fast enough to get there.
Totally agree.
So we'll do another one, but God, just cool off a little bit. That's all we're asking.
I'm about done with the heat.
No kidding. Well, that's one more reason to move to Dayton, Nevada.
Hey,
it's a little
speaking of that,
cooler
did you talk to the realtor or get in touch with the realtor or what?
Yeah.
Where are we with that?
They sent escrow's open. We gave our Ernst money, so escrow's open. And then they sent more paperwork. And I'm like, okay, well, we've already signed and opened escrow. We already signed and doing it. And then I talked to the realtor one time, and she's like, so did you sign the close of escrow papers? You got your money? And I'm like, why? We're buying a field. I said, can we survey it to see what we're buying? What are you talking about? Well, I don't know. And have a surveyor come out and put some property markers in. I'd like to see where the lines are. I don't think I'm asking too much to say.
What are we buying?
Which part of the field's going to be mine again? And she's, oh, that's a great idea. That's good. So I just didn't sign the e-signature stuff is just sitting there. I thought, once they do the survey, we drive back up, which coincidentally they did. And we're leaving Sunday.
Couple days.
We'll drive up there. We'll walk the property. And if the property lines are where we think they are, which I'm sure they will be. I just thought it was prudent to.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
To double check.
I'm with you on that one.
And then then we just do it that way and then come back and then we can finish up our stuff.
All right. Well,
but I did talk to him about it. And of course, then you're telling me that there's going to be rain up there. And so I'm looking at topographical maps thinking, why hasn't anybody built in this field before? Is it in a floodplain? I'm trying to figure out.
Well, hey, I wanted to bring that up to you because I've been watching the weather up there and see what it's like. We haven't lived up there.
No. And we are pretty close to the river. We're down at river level, pretty close.
Pretty close.
We're about our elevation above the river is probably 12 feet. Maybe 10 feet. But I just went up and got a Google map and saw where the little hills were. And you can see where the water's been rushing out of the hills and down towards the river for, 400 years. That's not too tough to see. And it really didn't have anything to do with, where we were.
Okay,
it was
that's
kind
cool.
of off. So
I feel better about that.
I guess it could get to us, but
maybe we'll have to put some dry beds in there or
and
something.
then what Jade says, she goes, well, Daddy, just build it up on a hill. Just raise the house up 20 feet. You'll be fine. Yeah, that won't look awkward at all. You pull down the road and there's this house.
Sitting on a hill.
Sitting on a 20-foot hill in the middle of the property.
I am here. That's about what you would do. That's what the general would do. You'd want it to be high.
I know, but then they'd also think, what does that guy know that we don't? Why did he build his house so high? I can say that's what they made fun of Noah when he was building the ark, too. That's right. What do I know you guys don't know?
Exactly.
And then when the flood comes and they're all trying to swim towards our property, I go, who's laughing now?
Oh my gosh. That would be you. That would be totally you. So you need to tell everybody about the water skiing thing that's coming up.
Well, okay.
Because you're the one that made the plans, or you and Jacob did it.
Jacob just kind of handed me a phone number with that one, and it's good.
It's this one and the Golden Knights jump, because you talked to the guy and then you handed it off to me. So.
Right. Let me talk about the water ski thing. I know how NASCAR works. NASCAR has races all over the country, and drivers get points. Teams get points by what place they come in and how their laps go. and you go to, race after race after race after race, and then there's winners at the end. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that water ski people did the same thing. There's water ski events, and you go from lake to lake to lake or town to town, and they have it's a big fucking thing. Not as big as NASCAR, but it's a big deal. And so Jacob connects us with this president of, and I don't remember the fucking name now. And he's the guy. He's the president of, it'd be like calling the president of NASCAR. He's in charge of all the racetracks, all the events,
so
all the
stuff.
water
skiing championships.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
And his name was Eric, and I can't remember his last name, but I called him, and the guy actually answered the phone. And Jacob had already done a little bit of work, like, hey, with GenX Talks can promote you, and then you can do something for them. There's no money involved here. It was just, I talked to the guy, and I was trying to tell him, we don't need a contract. Just give Briggs water ski lessons. We'll film it and get that for content. And I'll show up on Saturday and put up the canopy and run around and talk to everybody and shake everybody's hand and make everybody feel like it's a great day. And his accent, he had a French accent that was so thick, every other word I was saying was, I'm sorry, come again? What were you saying? Come again? And I got to tell you that when he starts speaking in French, it sounds arrogant to me. I know that's not right. I know that's wrong. But a French accent, he's like, well, we can do the water ski if you please. And I'm like, yeah, goddamn, please quit being so arrogant, you prick. I didn't say that.
I didn't even know the French could water ski. I'm just saying.
What, can they swim? Do they know how to swim either?
They smoked and...
They didn't drink wine all day. So you don't think you think French see water skiing on TV and go, holy shit, look at that. How come no one told us about this?
I don't know. I didn't. Okay.
I'm sure. Well, I'm going
to ask him when I see him.
This guy's super French because I can't understand him. And I said, listen, I'm trying to convey what I want. And I said, just tell me what you want me to say about your company or the event. Send it to me in an email and I'll talk about it. I still haven't gotten the email. This is why I'm not talking about it right. I'm not saying it correctly. But once we covered the language barrier, then he got excited. Because then he understood we will talk about it for you. And then I will give your son a brand new 2024 Nautica boat. It'll be the greatest boat in the world. I said, okay, greatest boat in the world, Nautica. Gotcha. I will get him the driver, a professional driver. I said, all right, we're good there. One of the champions. They will train him. I myself will be there also.
Sounds like a cartoon. Or like a fencing match or something.
That's the best French accent I've got. I don't have a French accent. But he got excited, and so
I will slap you across the face.
I wonder if I could do that. Shouldn't I just do that?
Oh,
and say,
don't do that.
That's French. We're okay.
That's not.
Then we have to duel at 20 paces with a single shot pistol.
I suggest you don't do that.
The guy was very nice. I just was having a hard time understanding him. He said he'd get a brand new boat. He said he'd get a professional driver, get one of his champions. He said he'd be out there. We're going to meet at 7:30 in the morning, so the water should be like glass. And
so when it's beautiful,
I'll film from the shore. You can film from the back of the boat. It should be some good content. It should be funny. Briggs has never water skied before. This should be good with all the yelping and screaming and
falling,
right,
smacking his face in the water.
But for those of you anywhere near the town of Arvin, California, which is down in the southern part of the San Joaquin Valley, is it the 17th? We're going to be out. I'm going to be out there the 17th. That Saturday. Remember you told Trippy.
So. Yes, I believe so.
Okay, whatever Saturday, August 17th.
Yeah.
August 17th, if that's a Saturday, we're going to be out there. Trippy might come up, Trippy Pineapple on staff, but your queen, GenX Mom, and I will be there in a booth. We'll hang out for the day, and there's food vendors and there's sales vendors. There are lots of people that'll come out.
Better not be 110 degrees.
I can't tell you what the temperature is going to be like.
I'm just saying, in August, it's not fun.
Well, how would you like me to correct that situation?
I am the queen. I get what I want.
You complain about it being hot out there, I will throw your ass in the fucking river.
I'd be okay with that.
Oh, well, you're going to get it. Don't fucking bitch about it. Anyway, so we're going to do the water ski event. That should be a lot of fun. You never know who you're going to meet out there.
I'm looking forward to the Golden Knights jump. That's what I'm looking forward to. That becomes before the water ski thing.
And the United States Army has an elite parachute team, paratrooper team, parachuper team, parachuper team called the Golden Knights. They're kind of like, the Blue Angels, the Thunderbirds, the Golden Knights. They all have specialty areas in the military. They invited us to come out there and jump out of an airplane. And
not us.
Well, they invited
They
GenX.
didn't offer me.
No.
Did they offer you?
No, before they could offer me, the guy just told me, he goes, listen, we want you guys to come out and jump out of a plane, but you're too fat.
Oh, he did it.
He didn't even say, which I call bullshit on that.
He didn't say like you're over the weight limit.
No,
he just said you're fat.
He was just very like drill instructor. Yeah, we'll take your son if he passes got to make sure we vet him out correctly.
Right.
Take a few months to vet your whole family to make sure you got the right Army beliefs and stuff that go along with what we think these days. And I said, yeah, we probably don't. And he goes, but you're not jumping. Your son can jump. You're too fat. And I'm like, okay, now politely, that's bullshit.
Okay.
I have seen, they're telling me that I don't fit in a parachute. I'm fat, but I've seen them push Abrams tanks out of C-130s.
That's true.
So fuck that. Just give me
and they have a parachute.
That's right. They push an Abrams tank out and it lands. Why can't I get half of an Abrams parachute?
Have you ever seen an Abrams tank land? It doesn't come down lightly. Even with a parachute, it still, draws some dust and stuff when it hits.
So I'm going to break my legs.
Possibly.
Well,
There's a possibility.
Can I land in water?
Have you ever seen a tank land in water?
No.
With a parachute?
No.
You think that would work?
Wait. In the A-Team movie. The A-Team movie, remember? In the A-Team movie, they're falling in that tank with a parachute and the drone was shooting at them and they were shooting back in the tank while they were falling from 20,000 feet and they landed in the water and drove it up on shore. So
Keynote movie.
You asked if I'd ever seen it.
Keyword movie.
I saw it. It happened.
So that's real?
Well, at the bottom of the A-Team movie, if you look closely in the right corner bottom of the movie, even in the theater, it says, based on real events.
Oh, you wish. I know everybody's been waiting for the highlight of the podcast.
He's going to get scared, just so you know. The kid's not going to jump out of the airplane. At the last minute, he's going to ask me.
I don't think so.
He's going to back off. He's going to chicken out.
No, he's not.
Okay, go ahead.
He'll do it.
Yeah. What's the highlight? I'm ready.
They want to know the saga of our millennial daughter. And there's a good one this week. Come on. It's a good one because it shocked both of us.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
Are you sure we didn't talk about this last week?
It just happened.
Oh, yeah, maybe it did. So our millennial daughter, who everyone says is really an early Gen Z or a late millennial, doesn't matter. So
she's
you guys,
relationship dumb.
Yeah, she is relationship dumb, as most women are. But
excuse me?
Truthfully, most of you are relationship dumb.
Well, you guys aren't the pick of the litter either. So
yeah, we have a much better handle on relationships than you do. I promise you.
I highly doubt that, but okay.
All right, so
I'll let you think that.
You're not letting me think anyway. I got my own brain. I can make my own opinions. I don't need you letting me. I don't need your permission to formulate an opinion. All right. So everybody knows that like 3 months ago, she left her boyfriend. I'm done. It's been 3 years. I'm done. I'm not living there anymore. She moves back into the house. And then, I don't know, she still dates him. They still go to work together. More fights. And then she doesn't talk. And then more fights and she does talk. And then for like 3 weeks, there was no contact.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Except for that stupid poem she wrote him, that sonnet. And I'm like, she read it to us, and I'm like, you fucking sent that? Okay, never send anything like that again. Other than that, it's been a pretty much clean break. I thought, all right, we're getting some progress here.
I thought so too. I thought we were moving forward with that.
Getting time under our belt. She's going out with her girlfriends and
shopping,
doing stuff with
and lunches and going to work. I thought, yeah, this is good. We're moving forward.
And then all of a sudden the other day, she gets up on her day off. She gets up really early. She's all dressed up and ready to go. And it's not like she's dressed up to go out on the town at night, but you can tell
something was happening.
Oh, she was packaged.
Yes.
She was packaged and ready to go. And it's like, okay, well,
what are you doing
What
today?
are you doing? And she goes, oh, well, my boyfriend's sister's in town and I've never met her. And there's some other relative and I've never met that person. And so we're going to spend the day together and we're going to go shopping. We're going to go to lunch and we're going to hang out. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Exactly.
You're what?
Where did that come from?
I said, how is this staying on course and distancing yourself from him?
Wait for it, people.
And she says, I'm not going on this journey for him. I'm not going on this outing for him. I'm going out to meet his sister and his uncle or somebody. I'm going for them. There's nothing wrong with making new friends. I go, it is when your new friends are your ex-boyfriend's relatives. What are you doing? I'd rather you go meet a stranger at a bus stop than you're not just tying your whole day to this guy still, but this is another hook in you he's got. If you make friends with his sister, this is another anchor dragging you back to him.
Don't meet the family if you're going out, like going out of the
relationship. I don't understand this at all. And she just looked at me like a deer in the headlights, like she had no clue.
But what did she tell you? They're not broke up.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Her explanation
because I finally got upset. I said, how could you be broke up with this guy and you've had 3 weeks of no contact,
right,
and all of a sudden, how would you even get the invitation if you haven't been talking to him? But if you're broke up, you're broke up. Well, I technically didn't break up with him. I go, you moved out. Every argument you get in, you talk less, you see him less. This last one, you were on the phone for like 3 hours in the driveway in your car.
Crying hysterically.
And this is it. You were done. We're done. 3 weeks go by, and now you're meeting his relatives. Okay. Do you kind of see now why I say that all women have relationship problems?
She said, we're taking a break. I hate that term.
I don't even know what that term means.
I don't know either.
Because I know when I've listened to our other daughters and sons and their friends growing up, we raised 32 kids, and this last batch of 8, 4 boys and 4 girls, they're like, well, and I overheard these arguments.
I know.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Well, so-and-so had sex with so-and-so. Well, they cheated on him. No, technically they were on a break.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? What are you allowed to do on a break, and what are you not?
Can we do that in a marriage?
Go on a break?
Yeah, can I go on a break?
Well, as long as my magic dresser still works, I'm good.
No, it does not magically appear.
I love having a magic dresser. You want to get new furniture when we move? Nope. That dresser, every 3 or 4 days, I open up a drawer and magically my shirts are in there folded. I don't know how they get there, but they do. They're cleaned and it's a magic dresser.
That's amazing.
Just like the fridge is a magic refrigerator.
All right, let's get back to the daughter.
All right, well.
A magic fridge. Yeah, every man's dream.
So I couldn't even talk to her in a normal tone of voice because I was so bewildered that this term on a break means that she can be 3 weeks removed from this guy and no contact, living my own life, doing my own thing, distancing, getting through the hurt, getting through the pain. And then all of a sudden we're having a full day's event with relatives, which ended up back at his apartment. And she didn't come home till like 11 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it.
I don't either. I don't.
Hey, well,
I don't.
Weird. Is at some point do you? Okay.
I know what I would do, but
well, I know what you would do, but as parents, we really shouldn't do anything. We're not allowed to say you can't live here if you don't break up with that guy. We can't say, we can't put an ultimatum on her. We can't make her follow through with her own decisions. I wish we could. I wish she'd go.
But we had a rule that we did not have a revolving door.
Well, yeah, but
and that's happening.
That is happening. I don't like that. When she says I'm done, I almost want to go write it down and sign it because if you break it, you can't live here anymore. Because I can't go through this anymore.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to continue, and that's what you said, and we said that we would not have a revolving door. That the kids would be coming and going, and she's the only one that has done this multiple times.
It's just it's
starting to.
It's hard for me to take, but it's even harder for me to understand. I don't get it. I don't get why she's doing this.
She really needs to move out on her own.
It's not like she has, the old rule with women is, well, we have children together. We have history. I'm trying not to throw it all away. I'm trying to figure it out. We have so much time invested. She doesn't have any kids. There's nothing tying her there. She's not even on the lease at the apartment. Just move your shit out and stay gone. I don't get it. I don't understand where she's at.
Well, I'm hoping that her girlfriend Charity and her move in together or something. There's a situation that might
maybe, but I'll tell you what. I've known Charity since she was 11 years old. We both have. They've been friends for all these years. She's still dingy as the day is long.
Yeah.
She said the other day, this is a true story. She goes, I'll go out. I told our daughter, Jay, go out, turn out the lights in the garage for me, lock up the garage. So Charity says, well, I'll do it. So she leaves 2 lights on all night. The next day I said, hey, Charity, I thought you were going to turn off the lights. Now we have 2 specific lights, just 2, that you have to reach up and pull a chain.
Right.
And they're attached to the ceiling. Now, they were too tall for her. Okay, I got that. There's ladders. There's step stools right within reach.
Yeah, they are.
And I said, well, you could have grabbed, she goes, a stool and turned it out. She says, well, I didn't think you wanted those off. I said, why not? She goes, because I couldn't reach them. I stopped for a sec. I was in my tracks and I go, I don't understand what you mean. She goes, well, I thought nobody could reach them and you just put them up there and left them on all the time. I went, I can reach them. I can reach the light and turn it off. She goes, well, I didn't know that. I just thought, because you mounted them so high, they never turn off, they never turn on. I go, no, you could always grab a little step stool right there. And she goes, well, I just thought because I couldn't reach them, they weren't supposed to be turned off. I go, yeah, you said that the first time around too. So if everything now
is
this
out of reach?
Imagine what world she lives in mentally. If something's out of reach, it's supposed to be
where it's supposed to be.
Where it's at. Wherever you found it, that's where it stays. Well, I couldn't reach the dog drowning in the water, so I thought he was supposed to be drowning in the water. I couldn't reach the light, so I couldn't turn it off. I figured it's supposed to be there. If you guys wanted me to do these things, you would have built them accordingly.
Wow, I want to live in that world.
What sense does that fucking make? She could be saying that at work. She could be saying you could be traveling down the road and you're in a foreign land and you just look at stuff and go, well, you guys must want it this way because you didn't build it to accommodate me.
Wow.
If that isn't the epitome of this fucking generation.
Wow.
She really thought that if something was supposed to be used, serviced, taken care of, adjusted, or changed, it clearly would have been accessible to her. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's...
Although that doesn't stop her and my daughter and her friends from getting into my liquor cabinet when I lock it.
Yeah, that's another story.
If I lock the liquor cabinet, they find every way possible. Wouldn't that rule apply? Sorry, you couldn't get into the liquor cabinet. Therefore, it wasn't meant for you to be gotten into. No.
And it's up high. It should have been out of reach.
That's right. No. They'll move mountains to get into the shit they want.
So it's selective.
I guess so.
Okay,
I don't know.
I get that.
I'm getting frustrated just talking. I'm getting my blood pressure up because I sat there. I almost didn't know how to have that conversation when she just looks at you, blinking her eyes, going, what?
She believed the whole thing.
The whole thing. Every bit of it. That was her deal.
Unbelievable. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. All right. Was there anything else? Wait, how long do you think we've been on? Don't cheat.
Probably close to an hour.
57 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's pretty good, huh?
That's pretty close.
Yeah. I'm doing well. Oh, man.
Okay, before since you've been bitching at me the whole day, I have one to bitch at you about.
Oh, just one?
Just one.
Oh, I love that.
Well, because you're like
I'll take one.
You're like Mary Poppins. You're practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect.
You tell me that every day. Okay, unlike you, I don't have a tidal wave of bullshit. This is a legitimate thing. You have not been doing this your whole life. I cannot say, well, ladies and gentlemen, submit to you evidence that my wife has been off her fucking rocker for 30 years. No, this is something you just started doing really recently and maybe more to the point this last 10 days.
All right, what?
All of a sudden, you are the master of political rabbit holes.
Oh, God.
And I don't mind if you do it, knock yourself out. But you know what you do?
Don't drag you with it?
Don't drag me into it. That's right. That's
know.
right. You come out here and you're like, oh my God, I think Joe Biden's dead and they're hiding it. I go, what are you fucking talking? I'm trying to work here. And you go, no. Remember when he got on that plane and he got sick in Las Vegas and they said they medevaced him out? And where would they medevac him to? He's in Las Vegas. They got the good hospitals there, and no one's seen him since. And then he resigned on paper that wasn't on White House letterhead. And then we just heard his voice. I wonder if he's dead. They're just not telling anybody. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Then you come out and go, okay, in Delaware, there's a no-fly zone. General Flynn said there's a no-fly. Why is there no fly zone in Delaware? I said, I don't know, maybe because Biden and Harris are there and they don't want to have a plane kill both of them.
I have to stop. It's getting ridiculous. I realized it the other day. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting sucked in.
Every single conspiracy theory.
And I usually don't do that.
You don't do this. This is not you.
I know.
Every single one of them, you run out here. I got to the point where I go, yeah, oh, that sounds terrible.
I noticed. You were blowing me off. I got it. I'm stopping.
I cannot have a rational discussion with you.
Well, you know what started it?
Every 20 minutes about a theory.
I know what started it.
The shooter?
No, you
What?
wanted me to start posting over on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is. So posting, like the
I
stuff
didn't want you to start reading things.
But it does. It kind of rolls through, and I'm like reading, and then I go get sucked down the rabbit hole and forget why I'm over there on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
You did this with when Trump got shot. You're like, I think it was the FBI. The next day, I'm sure the Secret Service did it. The next day, I don't know why that kid was left unattended.
Stop it. No more. I'm not doing it anymore. Stop.
But
I'm not blonde.
No, I couldn't believe you were doing this because you've never done this in all of our marriage.
Let's move on.
I'm trying to.
It's time for your car story.
Oh, okay. I wrote something down, a note on this. This is
car story, everybody.
It's car story time, everyone.
We should have a little music. Ding, ding, ding.
It's car story time. Everybody gather around the old radio in the living room like the Waltons did. For those of you who don't know who the Waltons are, you're too young for this radio broadcast. Please leave right now. I told you guys a story years ago. You guys, I think I was drunk one night and we're talking about this guy worked at different RV dealerships growing up in my youth, as it were, brand new RVs. And one of the things we did as an RV technician, as an RV mechanic, you have to mount awnings. You pull up and pull a scroll out awning for you to sit under for shade. But they also have window awnings. For a little window, so you can pull. They could have up to 6 window awnings over every window. You pull up your RV, your big, huge Class A RV. You pull out your awning, you put your chairs out, then you pull out your window awnings. But these awnings, the arms where they mount have to be lag bolted in. They're like a 6-inch long lag bolt, and there's only specific places in the RV you can hit a solid piece of wood that'll hold it. Now, you're pretty safe. You're not going to hit anything bad under a window because there's nothing under a window usually that get in the way in RV terminology. But this guy wasn't paying attention. He put one big awning over 2 windows, which he wasn't supposed to do. Each window has its own awning. And he drilled 4 lag bolts into the side of this RV. And it worked. The awning worked. But I go to give a walkthrough to this customer. They just spent $200,000 on this RV. And I'm like, well, let me show you how your RV works. Let me show you how the water pump works and how all the functions are. And we're going through everything. It takes hours because you show them every detail of the RV. And that was one of my main jobs there, was to make people really love their decision that they just bought this thing. So I would talk about it. And we go into this big bathroom, and I'm talking about, well, here's the sink and the toilet and the privacy, and the water pump comes on, and you got your stuff here. And I open up this glass shower door. It had smoked glass on the outside. And as you can imagine, it's not really porcelain inside, but it's white, bright, clean white. And sticking through the wall of the shower,
oh no,
from the outside are 4 big fucking lag bolts.
Oops.
And the owner, just about shit a purple Twinkie. I said, relax, calm down, let me go. So I went and got the owner. I knew who the owner, his name was Pat. And I said, you got to come out here. And so Pat sees this. He's fucking freaking out. The owner doesn't even leave the RV. He's standing just outside the bathroom in the hallway with his wife. And he's fuming. He's talking. He wants his money back. And he wants to know the fucking asshole. It's apparent if he can talk to the asshole who did this, maybe he can vent a little bit and get it out of his system. So Pat comes, he goes, let's go, it's John was his name, John. So I'm go, let's go get John and just let him take his licks. Let him apologize. Maybe the guy will be okay once the guy yells at the mechanic. And I went,
is he going to be okay with the lag bolts in his shower?
No, it's going to have to get fixed, of course. But
okay.
I think he just wanted to yell.
Okay.
But I told the owner, I go, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think we should. But he does it anyway. He drags the guy out there and he goes, did you mount these awnings? Did you mount these awnings on the outside? Yeah, I did. And did you do that? Yeah, I put him up there, and he brings him inside. This is the owner. And he was doing the walkthrough, and look what we saw when we opened the shower. And the whole room's quiet. We're all crammed in there. And there's like 5 of us now and the owner. And the mechanic looks at the lag bolts. He looks back at the owner. He looks back at the lag bolts. And now the owner starts yelling at him. He's like, you can't believe you fucked up my RV. You put holes in it. You're going to fix this, and on and on. He goes, and the owner says, what am I supposed to do with 4 fucking lag bolts sticking through my shower? The technician that did this reaches over to the owner, takes the hat off his head, and hangs it on the bolts and goes, use it as a hat rack.
Oh my God.
And he walked out.
I would die.
He took the hat off the owner's head and hung it on the bolt. Goes, you can hang your head on it. And he walked out.
That just made that guy even madder.
You have no idea. This old boy is from the South, and he was madder than a hornet's nest in a rainstorm. I tell you, it was bad. The guy ended up buying a different RV. I don't know how they talked him into still using our dealership, but he got a different RV.
I would have too.
All right, so this same guy didn't get fired for that. He still works there. Months go by. And he's bragging. Same guy.
All right.
Now, one of the jobs I had was installing fifth wheel hitches into the back of trucks, into the bed of a truck. So, the fifth wheel slides in and connects to that. So you got to imagine that fifth wheel hitch configuration in the bed of the truck has got to be fucking strong. And there's a very specific way you do it. There's a specific place you have to put it over the axle. And I don't know if they're like that anymore. They're probably better designs and easier to do now. But back in the day, if you had to put drill holes into a brand new truck, you had to drill into the bed, you had to drill into the frame, you had to crawl up under and put these brackets in. They had special bolts. Everything had to be at the correct angle. And then you had to put a brake controller, electric brake controller, by the steering wheel and run the wires. Now all the trucks are pre-run with wires. You had to run wires all the way back and get all these and put the little pigtail in the very end and get all this stuff done. It would take about 5.5 hours to do the job correctly.
Okay.
If you stayed on it 5.5 hours, you could do a good job. I could do it a little faster. I was one of the faster guys there. And I was young. It was just because I was younger and nimble, and other dudes were a little older and slower just with age, but they still did a good job. But this asshole was always talking about how he could do it like in 2 hours. He could do it in 3 hours.
There's always one.
I had really never seen this guy actually do that job at this dealership. He clearly knew how because he was talking about every step of the way and the difficult parts. So one day we had 2 trucks to do, and I said, I'll race you, and I'll bet you I can beat you. And I'm young.
And arrogant.
Yeah. And
a dick.
And a dick. A little bit of a dick. Yeah. A little bit like Grant, who's here in studio right now. Little dickish at that age. That's a.
All right.
So we put these 2 trucks in this big bay area far away from each other. I can see him. He can see what I'm doing, but we're not really near each other. There's no crowds next to us. The crowd is at the picnic tables inside the break area in this big kind of a warehouse, and everybody can see what's going on, but nobody's hanging out watching every bolt you drill.
Okay.
So the timer starts, and they're identical trucks with the identical job. It took me about 5 hours, maybe a little bit less than 5 hours. He was done in 3.
Oh, shit.
He was done in 3. And so I lost the bet. I got to pay him. Everybody who was betting on me lost. They had to pay up. Everybody was sure I was going to beat this guy. And so now we're all counting out $20 bills and stuff over at his job. And, and I'm thinking, how can he do this? I mean, you have to drill through the bed. Then you have to drill into the frame of the truck, and that's not easy to do. It takes time. Then you got to crawl up under there, the wheels. You got to drill holes sideways through the frame. You got to put these there's a lot of frame drilling goes on in there, and you got to make it just right. It just fucking takes time.
Uh-huh. So what made him go so fast?
Well, we're in the middle of all this. He's collecting all this money. I'm just bewildered. He can get it done in 3 hours. I'm thinking not even God can get it done that fast. And Marty Jelsvik was one of the supervisors there. He crawls under, and the guy didn't attach it to the frame.
What did he do?
He drilled all the holes in the bed on top and set the unit in the bed and bolted it to the flimsy little thin metal of the bed. And then he put the brackets underneath and just tightened them to the bed up. He never drilled them in.
Is that what he did to every other one prior to that?
Well, if he did, it wouldn't even work once. The fifth wheel would have gone right through. So he knew he was cheating. And Marty comes back and goes, he didn't attach him to the frame, and everybody's standing there. There's like 30 people there now.
Yeah.
Now even salespeople have heard about this little contest and come out and gone, what? And Marty says, you fucking cheated on this. He goes, no, I didn't. It's all attached. Marty opens up the bed and pushes the fifth wheel with his hands, and it rips out of the bed of the truck.
Oh, shit.
Because he didn't even put the nuts on the bottom. He just put the bolts through the bed, didn't even put nuts on it. So when he pushed it, all the bolts came out.
Oh, man.
You know what he did? The guy?
What?
He took off sprinting with all the money he had gathered towards his car.
Oh, nice.
When he came in for work the next day, not only was everybody pissed, somebody, and I'm not saying who, some young, strapping, arrogant asshole of a guy took the forklift and because he didn't know how to run the forklift very well, set his car on the big propane tanks out back. And if you take it off the propane tanks and you drag it or you don't get it just right, you'll fucking rip holes in the tank and blow the whole fucking place up.
Oh, shit.
I'm not saying who did that, but
it wouldn't have been you.
I saw it happen.
I don't think it was you.
Anyway, the owner came out and said, not only are you fired, I'm deducting from your paycheck all the money you ripped off from everybody. Everybody got paid back. He got fired. And I mean, this became a big deal. He goes, I'm going to sue you. And the owner goes, fucking sue me. I got a lot of money. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. Because he was done with him at that point. I would have been done with him when the studs came, when the lag bolts came through the shower.
Absolutely.
And as the whole thing's dissipating and everybody's cheering for the owner and telling this guy to go fuck himself and get off, the owner walks up and he goes, take the car off the propane tanks. And like, well, I don't know how to get... Take the car off the same way you put them on there. Take them off. I'm like, I didn't put it because I'm only going to ask you one more time. Take the fucking car off. And so we did. They were long propane tanks, the kind that are on the ground, like you put outside of a house or something. And there was like 3 or 4 of them. And I set the car, balanced it on the wheels on the tanks that if you didn't get it just right, you'd fucking lose it. I didn't care. I was so mad. Anyway, so. We all got our money back for that we had lost and given the guy. Story. He got fired, but that was an RV story. But yeah, true story. I couldn't believe he beat me on that. I was pretty fast at that back in the day. Now it's all plug and play. The wires are done. I'm sure it's a lot easier these days. But back then it was fucking tough.
Alrighty.
So there's your car story. You done?
I think so.
Good. We got an hour and 11 minutes. It's about average for us. I know there's more stuff to talk about because we're supposed to talk about Grill Master Club as being a sponsor. I will tell you that I had a great interview with those two guys, Grill Master Club. I did an interview. It's up on our website right now.
Oh, cool.
It absolutely...
One of my favorites.
One of the things... I'll tell you. Now, I've done Zippix Sticks Toothpicks. Their owner, Zero...
No, you have not done Zippix.
Yes, I have.
Oh, you haven't done Grill Master.
Okay. Yes,
sorry.
I have. I've done Grill Master. I talked to the two guys from Grill Master. I've done Zippix Toothpicks, which he's coming back for his second interview.
Oh.
I've done Bad Dog Tools. I'm going to tell you what, whether they become sponsors or not, whether they choose to help out the kid with his channel, I haven't met bad people yet.
That's awesome.
Everybody that we've had interviews with, I have learned so much about how they went from zero to their product, how they're still trying to develop it and push it out there. Grant, who's in studio right now, was on TorqueStrap. Probably one of the best interviews I've ever been part of was the exchange between Grant and I. We kind of went off the reservation, but I'm telling you, I have not met better people in those situations than what the people that we've had come through GenX Talks for the interviews. I mean, I don't know if it would be interesting to everybody else. Might be a little bit of a dry read, but when you really want information on someone who's beginning to start a program or a project or an entrepreneur, they're very candid about all the mistakes they've made.
That's cool.
And it's really some good stuff. And all of those people, we'll talk more about the sponsors on the next one, but I wouldn't trade anything for talking to them. It was great stuff. I hope they'll stay up forever because they're a great reference material for anybody wanting to learn this stuff.
Awesome.
So we can go more of those later. I think, was there any more notes in here? We get everybody we're supposed to do? I think we did.
I think so too.
All right.
I think we're done for today.
We can be done. All right. So I'm just going to have to.
We got to end the podcast first.
I don't even know if it kept going. Let me look. The butt is still running.
So just end the podcast.
Hold on. Hold on. The butt is still running. That means it actually made it through kgxtradio.com the whole time. Streamlabs is still recording. and I left the microphone turned on this time. I didn't go an hour and a half and go, I forgot to turn the mic recorder on. I got that squared away, so we're good there. All right, say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the GenX Talks podcast from the KGXT studios. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things. Number one, wherever you go, well, there you are. And two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.